Oh, good morning. The reason I'm smiling is this is the second time I've tried to do this video. And the first time I got very caught up in what time it was. So I started by saying good afternoon when actually it was the morning, and then I realised by the time this gets out it will be the afternoon where I am anyway. So definitely something in that. Timings, not to get caught up in them this week. Okay, so before I go on to the reading for this week, I nearly then said not to get caught in them, and what sprang to my mind was one of the solfeggio scales, and I do believe that is for liberating fear and guilt. So let me just double check that. Interesting that I feel the need to double check that. Very, very unlike me, but solfeggio. Yes, 396 hertz, turning grief into joy, liberating guilt and fear. So basically the UT, the 396 hertz, suggests that this energy can be liberated and have beneficial effects when used on feelings of guilt. It cleanses the feeling of guilt, which often represents one of the basic obstacles to realization, enabling achievement of goals in the most direct way. The ut tone releases you from the feeling of guilt and fear by bringing down the defense mechanisms. 396 hertz frequency searches out hidden blockages, subconscious negative beliefs and ideas that have led to your present situation. And then we just come back onto the camera. Okay, so reading done. What guilt this week is actually holding us back from manifesting what it is we're trying to achieve? I will carry on and look at the energy, but it really felt relevant in regards to timing and divine timing this week. The other thing that felt important before I started the video was to introduce who I am and what it is I'm here to do, which I do every week. My name is Kirsty Dignam, and I'm here to look at the energies this week collectively and how to best navigate them. Now, I do that every week, so why would that come up as important? Well, it made me go in deeper to my own energy and actually who I am and what it is I'm here to do. And I picked a few sets of cards. I picked the Wildwood Tarot, I picked the Way of the Horse, all the energies that resonated with me. And as far as I was aware, I was going to do a reading including all these different cards and shamanic cards and all energies that I felt relative to me. Spirit being spirit then took it one step further, and obviously it isn't the cards that I use, but about standing in who I am. So this week there feels an underlying theme of knowing who we are, standing in that without guilt from whatever time in our life that made us feel as if we couldn't do that. Yes, we can use cards. Yes, we can relate to certain energies. Yes, we can dress certain ways and try and embody that as much as possible. But unless we are open to receive who we actually are, they're just reflections. They're just tools. We are the ultimate tool to express who we are. So with that in mind, I think I'm just going to get straight on with the cards. I even got a cup with my initial on to remind myself who I am. And that may be poignant this week. You know, we may have a week of being reminded who we are. And I wasn't going to include it in this video because it's an individual journey, but is there any such thing as an individual journey? We're all on a path, aren't we? I've actually gone on to travel with the cups this week. I journeyed with the swords of the Minor Arcana last week. And the first day with the Ace of Swords, I received deep insight about journeying with the cups straight after. So I have, with guidance, continued to do so. And today I'm actually on the Ace of Cups. And I want to show you this card because it is literally, as I hold up my own cup, with my own initial on in my own hand and remember who I am. And in that, there's great peace. Yeah, in that we are open to receive the balance that we need to move forward. But really, really looking at the guilt we may feel around this. Actually, it doesn't feel like we need to look at it. It feels like it's going to be highlighted this week in particular. So I almost felt drawn then to discuss a few things that I've seen on social media. A few certain patterns and behaviours that seem to be occurring around me. However, when I felt drawn to share that, it came from my head, not from my heart. So very much this week, before we share, be open to receive and be in our heart space before we share. Ensure that whatever we're sharing is coming from our heart, because that's who we are. Okay, it's not to say that our mind and our ego isn't part of who we are, but bringing it into the whole centre first. Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at the energies this week. When you're in that heart space, it's not that you don't care. It's not that you're detached. It's not that you have no identity or personality or any of that. It's the ultimate identity, the ultimate personality. It's all of it combined. So a card has just come out, which is the Five of Swords. So this week in particular, when we feel pulled away from who we are, when we struggle to know who we are, and that can be externally or internally, coming back to the heart space always. And this is something that we know. Again, that may be highlighted this week. Aspects that we've already known, just to help return us to that heart, just to help us recognize our own self-worth. We already knew this. We already knew this wouldn't work, or this would work, or, you know, oh, I knew that, and so reflected that back. Yes, well done. You knew that in your heart. And what that can do is bring you back into this deep internal knowing that is available this week. Okay. Don't let the waters be muddied this week. When we are aware of something, when we feel something to be our truth, we often share that, and we share it from a place of excitement or uncertainty, and a lot of the times that can be reflected back. So if we are going to share this week, ensure that we are sharing with people that help our flow, not stagnate it. For whatever reason, we all subconsciously have underlying reasons behind why we are the way we are, our journey, our previous experiences. So if we are to share, ensure they are being shared with somebody that can get out of the way and actually receive what it is you are sharing from the level that you are sharing. Okay, so I do feel emotional entanglement this week. And we come back to the phrase of don't let the waters be muddied. Stay clear in your own heart. Drink plenty of water this week. And ensure that your own energy centers are cleansed and cleared. And there's many ways to do that, with intention, with crystals, with sprays. Having a bath, having a salt bath is very, very good for the body, very, very good for the emotions. And you can do something as simple as move your hand in your energy centers anti-clockwise to take out any stagnant energy, and then just replace it with clear energy and clear water clockwise. And go up through your energy centers. You can imagine them being clear. Really, really important this week to acknowledge what is going on for us in order for it to now flow forward. Okay. Oh. 10 of Cups. So I wasn't going to share, but 10 of Cups has just come up. And what I heard was to share something that's occurred for me recently. For a very, very long time, I've been looking for somewhere to live with some land where I can teach and heal and, do ceremonies for people. And I've become so close to it. But each time there's been a condition. And these conditions actually affect the very things that I love. This week I have been offered a wonderful opportunity for my dream, for my 10 of Cups, you know. but it has conditions. And what I'm noticing is this regular underlying emotional pattern that is teaching me the ability to recognize the difference between signs and synchronicities and true intuition. And that feels very relevant this week, that will come up, that a lot of our dreams, our wishes, our hopes will be reflected back to us. Thank you for us to be able to see the flaws in them, for us to be able to see what we may be lacking first in order to achieve them. Which may not be pleasant, but it's exciting as well, because it means that what we are trying to deliver is getting closer and closer. And the emphasis this week very much feels on focus, intuitive, emotional focus, which we can only do when we're aware of what's actually going on in our body and what may need cleansing and clearing and what may not. This is just an opinion. Very, very relevant this week. Other people's outside views are just an opinion. Their opinion. It goes back to being aware with what you are sharing and why you are sharing, and the impact of how you felt about it after sharing. Has it give you clarity, or has it muddied the waters? Has it helped you trust your intuition, or has it made you doubt who you are? How can you get back to who you are? Okay, right. The energies this week. I'm just seeing the Ace of Cups over and over. The Peace card, having peace, always having peace with who you are. The only reason we step out of who we are is because we judge who we are. We have guilt for who we are. We have opinions on who we are. And that is reflected back to us in particular this week. So having acceptance and peace with who we are can really help clear the emotional waters. Always, but in particular this week. Okay. Energies this week. Monday. Yeah, my phone's ringing and it actually says suspected spam on the Monday as we pull the High Priestess. 2 cards for the Tuesday. Interesting. Wednesday, Thursday, right, okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 2 cards overall. Wow. Whoo. Beautiful, beautiful potential energy this week. Beautiful potential energy every day, but beautiful potential energy this week. When we acknowledge who we are, we know what it is we came here to receive and what it is we came here to share. We get overall the star energy this week. Now the star is naked. Okay, so that does mean stripping back everything that isn't relevant to us anymore. And underneath is the 4 of Pentacles. What is it we are willing to let go of this week? What have we been holding on to physically this week? Yeah, stripping that back. That's the emphasis of the energies from now until Sunday. The emphasis of the energies is to really strip back now so that we can see the reflection of who we are, where we've been and where we're going. The Star card is a beautiful card, but it doesn't mean that there isn't work. Okay, when we see where we could be going, that's when we need to step up as well. That's when we do the emotional work. That's when we start to really act on our intuition, our own inner tuition. That's when we take control of our lives, really. So the energy overall this week is the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands together. 2 physical beginnings and ambition there. 2 physical beginnings. No, there's only actually 1 physical beginning, but I want to say 2. 2 physical beginnings there, because when our ambition lines up with the very thing that we are trying to achieve, when our energy, our spirit aligns with our physical body, there is a potential of 2 births there, our soul and our physical self. And that's what I really feel this week. So and it's funny because I was thinking, am I going to travel with the wands And the pentacles straight after the cups, well, there is a wand and a pentacle there, so we will see. On the Monday, I feel a bit excited. We have the High Priestess, and my phone did go off saying that it was suspected spam, but I can't help but feel excited. Yeah, maybe that could be a really good energy to take forward this week. Knowing that everything is here to show us who we are kind of changes the vibration from, oh God, I'm going to be stripped of this and da-da-da, to, oh, I wonder who I am then. So letting go of some of the things that I've had to this week, or been guided, chosen to let go of this week. Own it this week. The things that I've chosen to let go of this week has left me in a place of every option I've tried is not the option, which is beautiful, because what is the option then? It's beyond anything I can imagine or try. So what is the option? And that can leave excitement. That can leave an openness, a willingness to receive. Okay. So yes, the High Priestess is very much a journey into the underground. Very much I know a lot of people mention the High Priestess with Persephone. I personally journeyed with the High Priestess and Inanna. And we do have the 7 gates, and at those 7 gates we let go of everything. We let go of our identity, our egoic identity. We let go of our place here. We let go of our wealth, our riches, everything, our beliefs, our thoughts, everything. And then we come face to face with Inanna. And Inanna is actually, we are Inanna, and we come face to face with Ereshkigal. And Ereshkigal is actually delivering everything Inanna wanted underneath the facade of what she thought she wanted. Okay, and that can be quite interesting to witness. That could be quite interesting to witness when we see the pain that we may have caused ourselves by being something that we're not, in particular this week. That can be quite interesting to witness, but hold space. Hold space with the energy and the knowing that you're about to discover who you really are this week in particular. So yes, deep intuitive knowledge. However, look out for suspected spam, and you may find this video suspected spam as well. Whatever, you will know, it will feel, it will call to you. The High Priestess calls to you. She very much, even when we try not to hear her, very much we will feel her in our womb and in our heart, and we will feel that something is off. And we can put layers of clothes over that egoic clothes. We can put layers of our beliefs, our signs and synchronicities, and that's not downplaying any of them, but there's a deeper connection available, a deeper knowing available this week for those willing to listen to something beyond what they can see, something beyond the veil of illusion that is currently occurring. So one of the things that made me quite uncomfortable this morning was realizing, even though this potential could be a dream of mine, it didn't quite tick all the boxes, and I felt unworthy. I thought, but it's, it's a fantastic opportunity. It's as good as it's going to get. It could be the next step. And I was very much guided to wait, to know my worth, to wait for it to be as perfect as it could be, to trust source, whatever source you may call that, and to trust myself and who I am and what it is I'm here to give, and to know that they are one and the same, and that when they come together, that's when what I actually need to move forward will be provided, but to trust that. Now, I mention that because on the Tuesday there's 2 cards, and it is the Ace of Swords and the King of Swords. So it is to trust our divine masculine now, our sacred masculine, to trust the insights and the intuition that we get on the Monday. Really, really trust it. Really trust what we feel. My dog's coming to say hello. And to sit in that. Do you want to sit down? You're going to say, you can't see you, you're just above the screen. Sit down then. To sit in what you know and what you believe and what you are receiving now, okay, in our actions. And that may be inaction, to know that pausing, connecting to what is right for you is still an action. The most important action, actually. Just waiting to see if my dog wants to go outside. He's having a drink. He's coming back in, I think. And we pause. And we wait for the energy to be right. Go on then, go and sit down. So, on the Wednesday, I nearly pulled 2 cards, but on the Wednesday it was very important that the 2 energies be separated now. And the 2 cards were the Magician and the Moon. So on the Wednesday we do have the Magician, but very, very important that we separate ourselves from any illusions that are occurring around us before we try and create. Including my dog, who claims he wants to go outside, but actually doesn't. He will just stand outside. Hang on. Okay, so like anything, very, very relevant. My dog has just gone into the front room and I've shut the door, and I just want to show you the potential energy that could be disrupting us on the Wednesday. We have the Moon card, we have the dog. Okay, now my dog, God bless him, is a beautiful animal, but he likes to be center of attention all the time. He likes to be constantly petted, constantly acknowledged. Especially when I'm talking to other people, be it on the phone or camera or healing or reading or whatever. And that feels very relevant. Let's go back. Let's take stock to the Wednesday energy. I was going to say the Monday energy. But yes, the Monday energy as well, all week. What is distracting us? What is demanding constant attention? Does it actually need that constant attention? Because on the Wednesday we have the Magician. We have the ability to create what it is we have learnt from on the Monday, what it is we have stood in on the Tuesday. On the Wednesday, we have supportive energy to create what it is we are trying to create. But very essential that we detach from the illusion of old cycles on the Wednesday. Save them for the Thursday, but very much shut the door on them for now. That there's a real difference between animalistic emotions and intuitive knowing, and we're really going to tune into that this week. On the Thursday, we do have the Moon. We do have, okay, so it might not have quite happened how we wanted it to happen on the Thursday, but that in itself is an illusion. Everything. Now, I know this could trigger people. Well, I don't know. This may potentially trigger people, and I apologise if it has. However, what I would say is if it has triggered you, it is your trigger. And I'm going to reflect that straight back to you. Everything in our life happens as part of our life. Yeah, it may not be how we want things to happen. It may not be what we wanted. But if we take a situation and really feel into our heart, even that can be an illusion, a repetitive cycle. And if it isn't what we want, looking at the cycle that it's out of our control on the Thursday and really looking at that for the illusion that it is, what can we do about the situation? So I almost had to get past the uncomfortableness of potential triggers then, because I do appreciate, for myself and for everyone, that we all go through things that feel out of our control, and we all go through things that are devastating, and how frustrating it can be to have someone say, well, it's all part of a plan. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is in every single moment we have an opportunity to create from what we are given. Anything that says otherwise is an illusion. And that can be creation of our mind, that can be creation of how we feel about certain things and what we're willing to do about certain things, our behaviours. We have the ability to create what we choose to see, feel, think and be. We have the ability to deliver ourselves and create who we are in every moment. Anything that suggests otherwise is an illusion. And that's really, really important on the Wednesday and the Thursday. And only then can these two energies come back together. Only then can we appreciate everything that we have created in our life as part of the magic and cycle of discovery towards who we are. On the Friday, we have the Four of Cups. If we are unable to do that for whatever reason, acknowledging that even that's part of the process can leave us a little bit, well, that didn't happen, or okay, yeah, so I achieved everything I wanted, but I'm bored now. I'm bored now what? You know, it wasn't quite what I thought it would be. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to move forward. Have peace with that. That's okay. That's part of life, to grow, to evolve. I actually shared a video the other day, and it was a lady off of TikTok. And she said, for those that find peace boring, it is because you have had a life of chaos, and to let that sink in. And whilst I do agree with that to an extent, personally and professionally, boredom or a yearning for something more is what actually moves us forward. So having peace with chaos as well, having peace with chaos that we may have initiated into our life, trusting it as part of the cycle of our own magic. When we have that peace and acceptance, that's when the unnecessary discomfort stops. That's when we see all of these ideas that we had. They may not quite be what it was we wanted, but it's taught us so much about who we are and what we're here to do. And that's part of the magic. That's part of the magic. On the Saturday, we have the Two of Wands. If we can have peace with all of these things, there is the potential of moving forward there with the vision of the earth and what we came here to do as our main guide. Yes, there's a little bit of uncertainty. And that leads to, on the Thursday I was going to say, so bear in mind that, but on the Sunday, asking for help of how you can build this momentum now, how you can put in place these physical changes. Now, I wanted to say back on the Thursday, and the Thursday will be the moon. Okay, so recognizing again who you're asking, what you're sharing, how you're sharing, and who you're sharing with, and whether or not it's helping you move forward, or whether or not it's keeping you stuck in the energy of wanting to move forward but not quite getting there. Is it making any physical changes in your life? Sharing this information, take this on board with the video. Is it making any physical changes in your life? The work that you're doing, is it helping you actually move forward? Or is it time to put your energy, I was going to say distract your energy, into something else? Interesting. Be very, very aware of that energy this week. Okay, so by the end of the week it feels a little bit confusing, yes, and I've just picked a card and underneath is the Three of Swords. When we separate ourselves from when we separate our intuition and synchronicities and our connection to source into separate aspects, it can get quite confusing. So we receive a sign, we receive guidance. How does it feel in our heart? Always return to the heart. Trust the heart as the channel of this guidance now. Trust your heart with what you feel, because underneath we have the Sun card, and that may be where a lot of the indecisions, Two of Swords, where a lot of the indecisions come from today, possibly, but definitely this week. The inner child here, really, really working with that energy this week, really, really loving our inner child this week, because our inner child is our imagination as well, and it is our inner wild, it's our animal instinct, and it does want attention. Like my dog, it does want attention and it does want to be loved. And you know, if we nurture that energy within us, that sacred child, that innocence, that hope, that joy, that belief, if we nurture that, that's when anything's actually possible. Not when we have to understand it or, you know, give it set time, or when we separate from the inner child. That can cause quite a bit of heartbreak this week. So just nurturing the heart. Okay, so anything else? So I was thinking about summarising the cards, and I almost wanted to jump into them like Mary Poppins. I don't know if you remember, I remember when I was at school, very early on, before I really understood words or anything like that, we were given picture books. And we were asked to make our own story out of what it was we could see. And that feels very relevant this week. Make your own story out of what you see. Take the words and the information and all of that out of it. Make your own story with what is being reflected back to you this week. Not any story that you may have inherited or been taught to believe. Your own. So based on that, 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas, great solid structure there. And we do have the star, and I hear when you wish upon the star. We do have the High Priestess, the Magician, and the Moon as well in the actual week energy. We're supported by the star energy, but in the actual week energy, we have the High Priestess, the Magician, and the Moon. And I can't emphasize it enough. I've been saying in the actual week energy. So looking at our own intuition, how we make magic with that, how we create with that, and any cycles that have brought any illusions up with that. Looking at what we've created. Has it always been intuitive? What has it taught us about our intuition? Are we repeating certain cycles? It's all about the star this week. It's all about remembering who we are and stripping back anything that we're not, including the magic that we've made, including the cycles that we may have repeated, really going into our intuitive knowing behind that now. Then we have 1, 2 sword cards, which is peace but also indecision, and the balance there is the Ace and King of Swords, the ability to sit in what we know, in action, the ability to receive that guidance and know that it corresponds, that it relates to our own intuition, to really align our minds to the higher wisdom that is and always has been coming through as part of us. Well, the light that's coming through there, as part of us, as above, so below. What if we are the below aspect of the above? Align to that now. We then have 1 cup card, the Ace of Cups, but it is the 4 of Cups. So really seeing the opportunity of connection to a knowing that goes beyond intuition, beyond synchronicities, for the gift that it is. It may not be like it has before. It may not be obvious. It may take some real contemplation, sitting back and observing and seeing things for what they actually are. But it's all training. It's all training to trust this deeper knowing that is you. Then we have 2 wand cards, the 2 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Again, it reminds me of the Ace of Swords and the King of Swords. So really taking that divine spark that can come from being in that space of peace and knowing and moving forward with that. Looking out for signs from the Earth Mother this week. Go on a vision quest. You know, just go and walk around and ask Pachamama to show you, to guide you. Some of the best vision quests I've ever had is where I don't actually know where I'm going to walk. And I would just look out for signs, and you know, there could be a van that comes up with an arrow pointing a certain way on the van, so I will go that way. Really, really work with your intuitive senses this week with the earth. Be divinely guided, be open to receive that divine guidance in every step that you take, in all that you do. We then have 2 Pentacles, which is the Ace of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles. And again, that new beginning comes from accepting the help that is there. Looking at the help you are being given. Does it physically aid you to move forward? And if it does, accepting that. Really, truly just accepting that. Working together with the earth, working together with whatever guidance that you get, however that may be. It's different for everybody. Working together with your emotions, working together with your physical body and your higher self now, aligning them. Is there anything else? I'm just looking at the top of the tin, which has got the Fool card on. You know, that new beginning, that new journey, that new potential. Okay, so if we could have one card, it's going to be a horse card. Okay, so it's actually the Ace of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite Tarot, but it's one card, one horse card. If horses could talk, what would they say? Incredible guides to help us move forward. And I can't help but feel excited seeing the Ace of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. You know, for me, to work with horses, when I work with horses, or to connect to horses, or to even have a horse would be a childhood dream. And that leaves me excited, and that's good. Anything that leaves us excited this week. Goodness knows we all need it. Yeah, we all need it. So finding that energy to connect to that helps you be you. For me, it's horses. Everybody's different, but find that energy that really helps you open your heart, heal your heart. We need it this week. Really, really need to return many aspects of ourselves back into who we are this week. So finding an energy that helps you to do that and being open to receive from that energy. So we have 2 cards here. We have 25. I just want to show you that card. And for me, that's very much connecting to each other. When you connect to that energy, you see this horse's eye here is so droopy and so relaxed and so healing. When you connect to the energy that you are, that's the impact. So find people that help you to feel that this week. And we have 25. So we have the High Priestess, but we also have the Hierophant. So the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine there added up to the 7, which would be the Chariot. So moving forward there. So aligning your actions with your intuition this week. Really uniting your own feminine and masculine. And you'll know because it feels relaxed. Relaxed and alert, but at peace. I will look up the meanings. We'll see if there's anything else to add to that. But we then on the top of the pack have 21. And we have a beautiful white horse here. And also an owl. So really soaring with that intuitive wisdom this week. And again, we have the High Priestess and the Magician. And together we would have the Empress in the 3. So really creating, when we align the masculine and the feminine, when we align our intuition and our strength, the ability to really create something pretty impressive this week. So let's have a little look. 21. Interesting. I landed on depression. Keeping an eye out for that this week. Nurturing yourself, looking after yourself. Deep rest. So, Moonlight's Embrace. 21. Keeping the heart open. The courage to be vulnerable. Holding the sacred space of possibility. Gorgeous. So the gift. Opening the heart to life's mysteries allows us to experience the beauty behind the pain. It's going back to looking at all those things that have been created and what we may have discovered from them. The knowing, the intuition, the healing that we have discovered from them. The challenge. Vulnerability is one of the most difficult feelings for the human ego to handle. Letting go of our defenses takes humility, awareness, and tremendous courage. Okay, so... Is there anything else? And this is really interesting. Going back to the almost getting there with what we want, but it not quite being right, but standing in what we feel we need now, and in that self-worth. Sometimes the miracle happens after everything goes wrong. It takes time for this wisdom to blossom. Marion Woodman calls this experience the rose in the fire. Gosh, what a powerful image. It just reminds me of Mary Magdalene. When the daily round of human passion is intersected by the divine. When we engage with life's mysteries, which could so easily be rejected as meaningless suffering, it's transformed into soul making. By holding the sacred space of possibility for ourselves and others, those moments of imperfection, uncertainty, and even tragedy can actually strengthen and open our hearts. Resisting the urge to defend ourselves with a rigid mask of perfection, we embrace the beauty behind the pain, and in doing so, inspire others to do the same. Beautiful. And then the other card, number 25. Attraction. Love's potential, relationship challenges, and emotional resonance. A stunning grey stallion nuzzles his dark bay mare, deepening affection and understanding. The gift. Sometimes opposites attract. Sometimes like attracts like. The harmony and dissonance of relationships is the music of life and path to self-realization. The challenge, separating the flesh and blood object of your affection from fantasy and projection, is well worth the initial confusion or disappointment. So like myself this week, yes, the opportunity gifted to me was my dream, but the reality is I'm not in a place to receive that yet, and it's that needs focus. And yes, that's disappointing, and yes, that can be very heart expanding, but it also shows me my potential and what's needed now. Yeah? So anything else that she would offer? So there's a lot here of traumatized horses and traumatized people going well together, and she writes about a lot of us will find people in very similar situations to help us grow. But it's going back to that energy again in the reading this week. Is it helping you grow? Are we surrounding ourselves with situations, with patterns, with behaviours that reinforce our own restrictions this week? It can serve as an important role in healing, which we know, and it can help us step into wounded healers who can function more effectively. The difference is, can you tune into the original trauma, the original thing that made you create where you are, without repeating it this week? Can you be aware of why you would be creating something and create something different at the same time? So she ends the chapter. I say she, this is Linda Kohavnov. She ends the chapter with, in any endeavour, choosing a partner you resonate. So this comes into what we're looking for when we want to move forward, and the help that we need as well. Choosing a partner you resonate with fosters compassion and understanding while shining a spotlight on old patterns and unresolved issues. Yet the difficulty of relationship is part of its transformative power. If you're willing to honestly reflect on your own projections and fantasies, the goal of clearly seeing, appreciating, and dancing with another becomes a path to self-realization. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there, but this week a great potential, a great top of the pack, Ace of Pentacles, great potential to physically start to move forward now if we can look at our own stuff, if we can learn the underlying messages behind everything that has occurred, if we can take responsibility for what we create and see the true beauty behind it rather than deflecting it onto others, if we can own our shit with acceptance, without guilt, and with love and compassion for ourselves, then we can do so for others. So going back to the original message this week, maybe look up the ut frequency in the solfeggio scale. I think it was 396. Let me just have another quick look. Yes, 396. Google it. Put it on YouTube, listen to it, liberate yourself from any guilt or fear that you feel just by being you. And then we empower others to do the same. Take care, stay who you are, and just grow in that. Have a wonderful week. Bye.